What if I told you there's an invisible map that governs every decision you make, every emotion you feel, every outcome you experience in life? Not a map etched on parchment, but one embedded deep within your being, a sacred framework of consciousness, hidden in plain sight. From ancient mystics to modern sages, whispers of this map have echoed through time, concealed beneath symbols, veiled in metaphor, and encoded within forgotten texts. You've felt it, haven't you? That there's more to reality than meets the eye, that your struggles, your desires, your patterns, they're not random. They follow an unseen design, a staircase of awareness, and each step you take either liberates you or binds you deeper to illusion. This is the secret map of consciousness. In this journey, we'll explore ancient origins of this mystical system, decode the levels that silently influence your thoughts and actions, and reveal how mastering this map could unlock the keys to personal transformation, inner peace, and perhaps even enlightenment itself. But be warned, once you see this map, you can't unsee it. Ready to remember what your soul already knows? Then let us begin. Long before psychology gave names to behavior, before neuroscience lit up brain scans with flickers of understanding, there were those who felt the structure of consciousness, not through logic, but through deep inner silence. In the temple schools of ancient Egypt, initiates studied the jade pillar, a symbol not just of stability, but of inner alignment. To the untrained eye, it was merely sacred geometry, but to the initiate, it mapped the ascent of human awareness from the primal to the divine. The Vedas of India speak of the 7 chakras, not merely as energy centers, but as gates of perception, each one a level of consciousness. To rise through them was to transform the very fabric of how one experienced reality. The mystics of Kabbalah offered another path, the tree of life. 10 sephirot, each a realm of consciousness, each a trial of the soul. Ascending the tree was said to bring union with the infinite, Ein Sof, that which lies beyond form and comprehension. Even in the shadows of the Western mystery traditions, the Hermetics, the Gnostics, the alchemists, we find echoes of this map. They called it the Great Work, the transmutation of base consciousness into gold, into divinity itself. But why has this knowledge been scattered like fragments across civilizations? Because true power, the kind that liberates the soul, is dangerous to those who rule through fear. Empires rise not from enlightened citizens, but from those trapped in lower vibrations, guilt, shame, anger, pride. These levels keep humanity reactive, controllable, and so over centuries, the map was hidden, burned in libraries, encoded in symbols, whispered only in secret circles, until in the 20th century, a man named Dr. David R. Hawkins would reintroduce it to the modern world, not as religion, but as consciousness science. Through years of research and spiritual practice, he unveiled a scale, one that mirrored what the ancients had always known, that consciousness is not static, it's a spectrum, and every thought, every emotion, every moment is part of this continuum. He called it the map of consciousness, from the depths of shame vibrating barely above death to the luminous peaks of enlightenment where the self dissolves into oneness. Each level carries a frequency. Each frequency shapes your reality. Each step is a key to your liberation. But before we decode this map, we must ask, are you living by default, pulled by forces unseen? Or are you ready to ascend with intention, with clarity, with truth. Let us now step into the first threshold of the map, where the journey begins. Imagine walking through a vast temple with invisible rooms, each one altering how you see the world, how you feel, how you respond to life. This is the essence of the map of consciousness. Dr. David Hawkins' scale reveals that consciousness is not a fixed trait. It's a living, shifting vibration, a field of energy, and every human emotion, every mindset, every worldview emits a frequency that determines your experience of reality. At the lowest end of the map is shame, vibrating at just 20. It's a state of collapse, a psychic death. Here, life feels like a burden. Identity dissolves into worthlessness. Many who dwell here cannot imagine hope, only avoidance or invisibility. Just above it lies guilt. Vibration 30. It punishes the self, creating a life ruled by blame and regret. While shame says, "I am bad," guilt whispers, "I did something bad," but its weight still chains the soul. As we ascend, we pass through apathy, 50, where despair numbs all desire. Then grief, 75, where loss colors every perception. These levels are heavy. They bind consciousness to suffering, repetition, stagnation. But then something begins to stir, fear, 100. A step up, still constricting, but alert. Fear at least seeks. It looks for safety, patterns, protection. It is the birthplace of survival instinct. Then comes desire, 125, not just longing for food or pleasure, but craving control, power, ownership. Many become trapped here, mistaking desire for purpose. But desire never satisfies. It fuels ambition, but not peace. And then, anger, 150, often demonized, but in truth, it is a turning point. Anger is energy. It wants change. It is the fire that says, enough. When transformed, it becomes courage. And courage is the gate. At 200, we reach courage, the first level of empowerment. This is the threshold where consciousness begins to lift, where victimhood ends and agency begins. Life is no longer something that happens to you. You begin to shape it. From here, the map opens to neutrality, 250, willingness, 310, and acceptance, 350. Each level a more expansive lens. Emotions soften, awareness deepens, the self becomes less reactive and more aligned with flow. But even these are only midway. Above them lie rarer altitudes: love, 500, joy, 540, peace, 600, states that mystics and saints have tasted. Here, the ego fades, compassion radiates, life feels unified, effortless, luminous, and beyond all comprehension is enlightenment, 700, 1000, the domain of Christ, Buddha, Krishna, where the personal self dissolves into the eternal, where duality vanishes and only the one remains. But most live unaware of this map. They bounce between fear and desire, anger and guilt, believing these states are natural, inevitable. The truth, they are not. They are frequencies, and frequencies can be changed. Next, we will peer into the paradoxes and hidden meanings behind this map, and uncover how to transcend the traps that keep us stuck. Here's the paradox. The map of consciousness appears to be linear, a simple climb from low to high, from suffering to serenity. But in truth, it is not a ladder. It's a mirror, a reflection of your inner alignment at any given moment. You don't reach higher consciousness by force. You tune into it. Like a radio dial, your awareness must match the frequency of the reality you wish to experience. This is where most seekers stumble. They try to think their way to peace. They try to fight their fear with more fear. They chase love while rooted in unworthiness. But the map reveals a deeper law. You cannot transcend a level by resisting it. Resistance binds you to the frequency you're trying to escape. What you suppress possesses you. And so the path upward is not struggle, it is surrender. To transcend shame, you don't deny it, you witness it. To rise beyond anger, you don't suppress it, you transmute it into courage, into clarity, into truth. Another misconception: people often think high consciousness is passive, floaty, ungrounded. But in reality, true power is not weakness. It is the absence of egoic force. It doesn't dominate. It doesn't control. It radiates. Think of a candle in a dark room. It does not scream to be seen. It simply is. This is the essence of higher consciousness. It influences not through fear, but through presence. There's also a hidden truth within Hawkins' scale. The levels are contagious. Spend time around someone vibrating in fear or pride, and you'll feel the pull downward. But sit in silence with someone radiating love or peace, and your entire field begins to rise. This is why the ancients sought out sages and holy men, not for information, but for transmission. The map is not only personal, it is collective. Entire societies are ruled by dominant frequencies. Wars are born from pride and fear. Revolutions rise through courage. Cultures flourish through acceptance and willingness. And you, yes, you, are not just climbing the map for yourself. You are tuning your soul to a frequency that ripples outward, influencing all who cross your path. Next, we'll explore how to apply this wisdom, how to shift your vibration, align with higher levels, and navigate your life using this ancient yet modern map of the soul. Now the question becomes, how do you use this map? It's not enough to know where you are. You must learn how to shift, how to align with higher frequencies, not as a concept, but as a lived reality. And the first step is awareness. Each day, pause and ask, what level of consciousness am I operating from right now? Are your thoughts rooted in fear or in faith? Are your words born of resentment or compassion? Is your action driven by desire or by purpose? This inner inventory alone begins to loosen the grip of unconscious states. For once observed, they begin to transform. Here is a powerful exercise, the leveling practice. Each morning, sit in silence. Breathe. Close your eyes and feel into your dominant emotional state. Name it honestly, without judgment. Now visualize the next level above it. If you're in fear, imagine courage. If you're in anger, invoke understanding. Ask, what would it feel like to rise into that state? Not, what would I do, but how would I feel? Let that feeling bloom in your heart. Hold it. Breathe with it. This simple ritual shifts your frequency, sometimes subtly, sometimes profoundly. Another key, language. Words carry vibration. Saying, I am overwhelmed, reinforces that energy. But saying, "I'm noticing tension and I'm choosing calm" begins to recode your field. Speak in the language of the level you wish to embody. Also, beware of spiritual bypassing. Some try to jump to peace without facing the grief, the guilt, the rage that lives beneath. But nothing can be healed if it is denied. The path up the map is often a path through your shadow. Embrace shadow work. Journal your darkest emotions. Welcome them as visitors, not enemies, but messengers. And most importantly, surround yourself with frequency lifters. Books, music, people, places, everything carries a vibration. Curate your world as if your soul depends on it. Because it does. Finally, remember, you will not stay in high consciousness all the time. No one does. The goal is not perfection, it is presence. The more you return to the higher levels, the more natural they become. Bit by bit, the map becomes your territory. You begin to live as a beacon, not a seeker. And that is how you shift reality from the inside out. So now you see, life is not chaos. It is not random. It is frequency, vibration, and alignment. You are not merely a body navigating a physical world. You are a field of consciousness, moving through dimensions of perception, moment by moment, choice by choice. The map of consciousness is not just a chart. It is a mirror, a compass, a key. It reveals the secret architecture of your inner world, the energetic scaffolding behind emotion, thought, and behavior. And with this knowledge, you are no longer a prisoner of your past. You are an architect of your future. You now know the truth behind your patterns. Why some days you feel alive and others empty. Why certain people drain you and others uplift you. Why your life seems to repeat until you change your level of being. The ancient mystics knew this long before science caught up. They didn't just tell you to be good. They taught how to rise in frequency, how to cleanse the heart, master the mind, and unlock the soul. And here's the most beautiful truth of all. The map doesn't judge where you are. Shame is not evil. Fear is not failure. Each level has its lesson. Each one a sacred gate, waiting to be opened with awareness, compassion, and courage. So ask yourself now, where am I on the map? And more importantly, where am I being called to go? Will you stay in the familiar vibrations of fear, pride, and control? Or will you begin the ascent into love, into peace, into the vast mystery of the self? The choice is always yours, and every moment is a threshold. If this journey stirred something ancient within you, if the map spoke to a part of you that has always known, then you are not alone. Let this be just the beginning. Like, comment, share your level, and subscribe for more hidden knowledge, decoded from the ancient currents of consciousness. Because the truth is not out there, it's within you, waiting to be remembered. Until next time, walk gently and walk awake.